gentlemen, welcome back to PodcastJuice.net. My name is Michael Dean, and today on the Prince podcast, already known as Podcast on Prince. Well, I cannot call it that, and I'm not supposed to, but the Podcast on Prince is here to bring you another exciting show this afternoon. Joining me today, before I get to my special guest, Mr. Big Sexy and Saxer, how are you?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. Got my Grammy invitation in the mail. Ready to roll, moving things forward.
Okay, all right. I see you flossing the Grammy invite. That's okay. It's all right. Also, we have a special guest on the show. He's been on here before. I will call him a friend of the show. A real cool brother. Met him in person, hung out a little bit. You know him as Wally. Well, we like to call him Mr. Superstar author. Wally Safford, sir, how are you?
Oh, man, I can't call it, man. I'm blessed. Woke up this morning.
Yes, sir. I know that's right. Well, man, Wally, it is here. You have your book has dropped. It was like one of them. You must have been taking some notes from like Beyonce or something. Like you just dropped the book out of nowhere, man. What was the plan behind that?
Lemonade.
So you saying you're dropping some tea on people in the book?
Yeah, I was dropping Becky with the good hair, all of that.
Hilarious.
No, man, I just I didn't plan on it to coming out. It just happened, you know. It just happened, you know. It's just, you know, I said, you know, it just happened to finish up at the same time the other books finished up. You know, Morris and Prince's book.
Right. Yeah. You're coming right on the heels of those two brothers. And let me give it the proper introduction. So the book is called Wally, Where'd You Get Those Glasses? My Life Through the Lens from Parliament, Pendergrass, and Prince. And let me read the synopsis here for you real quick. So it says, Wally, Where'd You Get Those Glasses? Is a memoir by Wally Safford that focuses on his long-standing work in security for iconic singers and music groups, including the Commodores, Parliament Funkadelic, Earth, Wind & Fire, and Teddy Pendergrass. That's a mouthful right there. That's like, for some people, that would be the Mount Rushmore of black music for a lot of, you know what I'm saying, that's iconic groups. That unto itself.
Yeah. I'm full too.
It says it culminates with Sanford's move as a personal bodyguard for Prince at the height of his career to becoming one of the Academy Award-winning musicians, background dancers, and singers on stage. The song Wally was Prince's tribute tune to the Detroit native who at one time was his trusted confidant. Now, Mr. Wally.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask and now we cool. So I'm asking these questions. Don't get it twisted. First one they're gonna ask you is why you, Wally? Why you putting?
Why not me?
There you go.
There you go.
God damn.
Why not? It was only two great ones. It was Ali, then it was Wally. Ali was the greatest, and here come Wally with the latest. Okay.
Yeah.
They said it's best to be read and not said.
What years or what time frame were you working with Prince, just to sort of set it up for people?
79 to 88.
79 to 88. That's for a lot of people. That's the greatest times of all time.
Well, that was the only time. I told you it was only two great ones. It was Ali, then it was Wally.
All right.
Often imitated, never duplicated, brother Michael Dean and Big Sexy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So from 79, and I would imagine it's in the book, but can you give us a little taste of like, how did you first get introduced to Prince in 79?
Well, he was opening up for Rick James.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we was us, me and the Purple, the guys, we was always on tour with him. So, you know, that's what that was.
Now, were you on tour as Prince's bodyguard, or were you on tour for Rick James, or what was the situation behind that?
I was on tour for everybody.
Okay.
I was doing security for everybody.
Who was you remember, like, who was the person, who was the tour company, or who did you work for specifically? Like, who was in charge of that?
Source Production.
Okay. Now, is this, I don't know this, so is this a part of Billy Sparks? Is he in the picture at this point, or is that later?
Yes, Billy Sparks and Quentin Perry, yes.
Okay. Okay. So,
Quentin Perry and Billy Sparks, that's right, yep.
All right. So, did you actually meet Prince during that time, or were you just working there?
I was working. I met him. I met him through his management team.
Okay. What was the 1979 Prince like in your eyes? And I would imagine at this time you had been around, and we'll get into it, other big groups at that point. How did you guys see Prince? Because he was just kind of starting out.
How did we see him?
Yeah, like, I mean, I've heard of the Rick James Prince stories, and I always kind of got the idea of Prince was the new guy coming into the game, but obviously Rick and all these other guys have been established. I was just curious, if you've been working in that industry, how did you guys view Prince at that point?
You said, how did I view him?
Yes, sir.
Well, Prince, he had that it factor. We had worked with a lot of other groups, but it was just something about him. He had that it factor. I mean, his first album, For You, and then the album, the Prince album, with I Want to Be Your Lover and all that on it, that's when the notoriety, that Bambi and all of that, when he did the Dick Clark American Bandstand, that's when, I was like, okay, this is something different. He's a little something different, So, that's when I had noticed him, because I was a fan too at first.
Okay.
I was a fan first.
All right.
I was a fan.
and then, like, and I'm just gonna walk you through a little bit, like, just to kind of get into it. But so from that tour, what was the next opportunity that you had to work for Prince?
The next opportunities?
Yeah. When's the next time you worked for him?
Let me see. The next group that I worked with. Well, it's in the book, Dean. It says it's better to be read than said.
I know that. We just give him a little taste.
I might as well. Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, come on now. I'm trying to help you sell the book, Playboy.
Okay, but let me see. I think it was Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yeah, Maurice White and Verdine, Freddie, and Al McKay, Johnny Graham, Verdine, and Andrew Woodfolk, Larry Dunn, and the Phoenix Horns, Don Myrick and Louis Satterfield and Rumley Michael Davis, and Philip Michael Bailey, Ralph Johnson. They were to me, they were the group, to be, they was, to me, all-time favorite band, duo, or group ensemble ever put together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were the elements, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
What were those shows like?
Oh, baby. They were, it was the fire, it was the fire. They had the music, it was so universal, and, it was like walking into a time machine. I didn't even know I was in it. It was just, it was something. They were something else. I mean, their music, it was love, love, peace, unity, man. I mean, I put the utmost respect to Earth, Wind, and Fire, man. Them brothers, they brothers for life,
Mm-hmm.
Love Verdine, Philip Bailey, all of them. Larry Dunn, their brother Freddie White, they're beautiful, man. Beautiful people, man.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
And then since we're kind of going there, I mean, also tell me about Parliament and Funkadelic and all that. What was that like working for those guys?
Well, it's in the book. You know, it's better to be read than said.
Here you
Michael
go.
You know, ain't it better to be read than said? What was it working like with the Parliament Funkadelic? I was on the mothership.
Okay.
I was trying to get connected. You know, swing down, sweet chariot, let me ride.
You
know, I was trying to get on the mothership. They was hot and popping.
Oh, for sure. Like, so were you doing security for them too?
Oh, I did everything but sold popcorn.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. I did security for George.
So you doing security? So let me ask you this: so, like, what was security like back in those days? Like, what would that be like?
It's different from today. You know, we just had zero tolerance, no nonsense. You know, and it's now you have, you know, the rap groups and stuff. They beefing with one another. You know, it was love for one another. You know, it was peace, love, and harmony. You know, that's the 70s, baby. You know, it was peace, love, and harmony then.
If that was the case, why would they need security? I'm just messing
well,
with
they
you.
need security. I said it was peace, love, and harmony backstage.
Oh,
now,
okay.
On the outside, I don't know what was going on out there. It was a concrete jungle.
Okay. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, well, I don't know what was going on outside. I know what was going on the inside.
Okay.
You know, so that's what we did. We took care of the inside. We didn't worry about. That's what the house security is for.
Oh, okay.
Worry about on the outside.
Gotcha.
We got everything backstage secured.
Okay. All right. Now I'm starting to understand a little bit.
Now we cooking.
Yeah, so you wasn't out there like standing at the line, you know, ready to put hands on people or something like. That's a different type of security.
Oh, no, well, you know, 90% of it is mental.
Okay.
You know, I walk away from a fool, confrontational. You know, I mean, you know, when something escalating, I escalate it. You know, I don't escalate a situation unless I got to put my hands on them.
Gotcha. So if back in like the 90s or something, somebody said, "Hey, Wally, man, I got a gig for you over at Death Row," you're not taking that one, huh?
Well, no, I'm telling Suge, I'm good, cuz I'm good. I got bulletproof vest, helmet, and AK-47 and grenades, and I'm good.
Wow.
Let's roll.
It's like, Billy, Wally, we heard about you with Prince, man. We need that juice with us. You know what I'm saying? Come with the road. Like,
well, we got the juice, but it's a different kind of juice.
I feel you.
You got fruit punch, you got jungle juice. No, but you know, a lot of people, man, they misinterpret Suge, man. Suge was a good guy, man. You know, I think he was misunderstood.
All right.
Because, you know, Suge was Morris's bodyguard. A lot of people didn't know that.
Morris who?
Morris Day.
Really?
Yes,
I've never heard this.
Color of Success tour.
Whoa.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Suge was Morris's bodyguard.
All right, Morris
on
affiliated.
The Color of Success tour. Huh?
I guess what you're saying, Morris is affiliated?
Affiliated with what?
I'm just messing with you. Stop. No.
Oh no, we don't do gangs. No. Well, Suge, you know, see, people misinterpret Suge. Suge was a football player.
Right.
You know, Suge was Morris's bodyguard. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that. Very interesting.
Yeah, see, I'm saying you're talking to Wally now. See that?
Okay, well, that's right. I forget who I'm talking to. They did let me know.
I'm telling you. Like I said, I'm telling you, it was only two great ones. It was Ali, then it was Wally.
Okay. Well, see, this is why I'm asking these questions now. I'm sure that's not in the book, right? The Suge Morris.
No, sir.
Okay, see, that's why I'm at. That's why we're trying to, trying to build it up for you, bro. Oh, that's interesting. I never heard that. I know that he had worked with like people like Bobby. But I guess it would only be natural, working with Morris. He was big back in them days.
No, yeah. That was Morris. Suge was Morris's bodyguard.
Wow. Okay. Morris should have put that in the book. I didn't see that part in the book. Morris.
Well, no. He was talking about Prince. They didn't ask him about Suge.
True. So, how did you get into position to be working with all these greats?
Taurus Production.
Okay, give me a little information about that. Where is that? Is that out of Detroit?
Quentin Perry, Billy Sparks, out of Detroit, babe.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And tell the people who Billy Sparks is. A lot of people will say, "Oh, this is a business. You ain't too far gone to see that shit." They know him from Purple Rain.
Right. That's right. Because ain't nobody digging your music but yourself. Tell me I'm wrong. Oh yeah, tell me I'm wrong. Just like your old man. Well, yeah, Billy Sparks. That's my brother-in-law.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So basically, Billy raised us in the music business.
Mm.
Yeah, George Clinton, like I said, George them from here. But, I was checking out George when I was a kid, man, just hanging out. I was checking out George and them back in the day. But, yeah, man, that's what it was, man. That's what it was. It was just, I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. I wasn't even looking to be in the entertainment world.
So you, linked up with Billy and started working for his company, and you guys are doing all of the great ones essentially come through you guys. Or you guys are affiliated with them, working with them, and then you started working with Prince. When did it go from? And I know it's better to be. What'd you say? It's better to be read than said, but. Think of this as like a sampler meal to get me to want to buy the whole plate, right? So when or how did you go from sort of just being the security guard doing everything but the popcorn, and then Prince sort of catching the eye to say, yo, let's move him into a different position where he's he's not gonna be behind the scenes no more, right?
Prince was shy, he's kind of shy. He didn't talk to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. He didn't talk to a lot of people. So, one thing led to another. But it's in the book.
Stop it.
It's better to be read than said.
Woo! Well, you a hard one, brother. I respected them. But listen.
Yes, sir.
I know it's in the book, so we're not going to tell the book for sure, but was it Purple Rain? Was that like the first time that you I think you had a shot in that movie, right?
You blinked, you would have missed me, but I was in there in First Avenue. Yeah, doing the bird.
When that movie came out, how did you feel when you saw you saw yourself in there?
I don't know. I was kind of it went so fast. It's like I didn't see me.
You wasn't like telling your people, yo, there I go right there. See, I told y'all.
No, I was never like that, Mike. Okay. I was never like that, Michael Dean. I was quiet too. Mm. Oh man, I see you cook breakfast, man.
Here what you go.
Eggs and
nigga, I do eat.
Is that an omelet?
I do eat. No, that's my. How you?
I got coffee. You got coffee, tea, and a candlelight.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Try to start. I'm getting ready for you, Playboy. See?
I know, brother. I know. I'm just messing with you. No, big sexy. So anyway, we like I said, it took a minute for Prince. He kind of warmed up to us. Kind of warmed up. But most of it is in the book. It's in the book, Bill. Most of it's in there. So I don't want to give too much away.
Right. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help you because listen, when they, them fans, when they hear this and they're going to be like, oh, he just keeps saying it's in the book. They're going to kind of come at you for a little bit. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you got to give them a little something, because people.
Oh, well, okay. Well, what's in my book is not in everybody else's book. I put it to you like that.
Hilarious. For sure.
What's in my book is, you hear that they say, oh, well, we heard that story before.
Okay.
And we heard that story, but basically, y'all gonna see a different side to Prince that y'all haven't seen before. in my book.
Really? Okay.
I'm putting it to it just like that.
All right.
Y'all gonna see a side to him y'all haven't seen before.
Well, that's intriguing. That's intriguing for sure. And
Yes, sir.
does it also, I would imagine, since it's in the title, you must talk about the song Wally as well, right?
Well, that's my favorite subject, me.
Hilarious. Okay.
That's my favorite, because somebody asked me, a friend of mine asked me, so Wally, what's the book about? I said, my favorite subject, me. You know, my life story, my memoirs, you know.
So
that's
go ahead.
Now go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say that's because we've been seeing that word memoir a lot in the last couple of weeks. And as I'm very interested to read your book, because this is your story, though, just so we clear, right? Like,
yes, sir.
Okay.
My story.
Okay.
Yes. And Prince is just part of my story.
Got it.
You know, I touch on everything from my childhood all the way up. You know, that way people get to see who Wally really is. Leading right up to Prince.
Yeah, man. That's it. And I'd be interested to hear that, because, Steve, when you say, I work with Commodores, Parliament, Earth, Wind and Fire, Teddy.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, okay, how that brother, he's from Detroit. How did he get connected to that? What was that like going through those, that's some of the great years of music. And then,
oh man, the best years.
Yeah.
You know, you talking about the OJs, LTD, Confunction, Mother's Finest. I'm talking about jazz band. You know, we talking about my man, Chuck Brown. I feel like busting loose. That's that go-go music. That's that busting loose. You know, busting loose. That's Chuck Brown and the Soul Searchers, baby. So I ventured in all the cultures and music, because music is the soul to your spirit, and that's what I always vibed off of that. And Prince knew that. Like I said, his relationship with everybody was different, and my relationship with him was different. So that's in the book as well. So it's like I said, you're gonna see something different. You're gonna see something different in that book. Well, you're gonna say, well, we already heard that story before, or we already heard that story before. What is it that in his book that's got to say about Prince that we haven't heard? And that's why I say it's better to be read than said. And Michael, you my man like $100,000, right?
Oh, I'm not even tripping, man. Come on.
Like I said, I had no idea your birthday the day before mine.
I didn't either.
I knew it was something why I liked him. I knew it was something about Michael D that I liked. And his birthday, we both Scorpios.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, and I remember, God, this must be a couple of years ago now when the first time we talked on the for the show or whatever. And
was it about 2 or 3 years ago?
I think it was. And
how long was that?
Man, I have to look it up, but it's probably a couple years ago.
You know what? But you know what's funny, Mike, Big Sexy? Everybody came up to me, man, I heard your podcast. It was like, man, that was iconic. They was like, man, you the legend. I'm like, huh? I'm just a humble servant. I'm not no legend. I'm just a humble servant, brother, off of 12th Street, 12 Avenue, Rosa Parks Boulevard. I said, no, that ain't me. That is not me. I'm just that guy.
Yeah, that's you. But
I just, but if I had to do it all over again, I don't think I'd change it. I'd be like Frank Sinatra. I did it my way. But I would did it the same way, Mike, because I got to meet beautiful people like such yourself and Big Sexy, the Purple community, because, you guys, y'all got a special kind of love for the brother. And, see, Prince was my brother and my friend, and he loved his Purple fam unconditionally, Mike. I just want that to be said for the record.
Okay.
He loved y'all unconditionally, because he used to be in rehearsal. The fam's gonna do this. They're gonna be screaming like this. They're gonna do this. I mean, he would act it out. He would act it out. So he truly, truly loved his fams unconditional.
Wow. Okay, that's good to hear, man. And you can
I
tell.
just don't want that. I don't want that to go unnoticed because he truly did.
Word. Well, that's beautiful, man. And you felt that from Prince too. Just as a fan, you could tell.
But my spirit was different to him. You know, like I said, my spirit with Prince was different from everybody else. You know, he was happy when he was around me. He was always happy because I kept him in laughter stitches. You know, I used to always keep him laughing. You know, because I told him, he was happy. You know, because everybody says, you know, in the Purple community, Purple fam, they was like, man, I love that parade there under the cherry moon. He was so dope. He was so cool. Yeah, he was happy, Mike. Big Sexy, he was happy. You know, I told him laughter is good for the soul. Sometimes you have to laugh to keep from crying. And he was a modern day Mozart. You know, this guy was, and I had the pleasure of working with this guy. You know, so I look, Mike and Big Sexy, I'll be seeing guys like Spike Lee, Questlove, them, Jamie Foxx, and they talk about Prince. And I'll be like, wow, I actually knew this guy personally. You know, they just saw a shimmer of him. You know, they didn't really see the real Prince, you know. But, you know, at the end of the day, Mike and Big Sexy, I treated Prince like a normal human being. I treated him like Prince Roger Nelson, Matty Baker and John L. Nelson's son. And he didn't get that often. And I think that's why he respected that the most, the friendship. Because we can talk normal. I treated him like a human being.
And you, I think you mentioned it before, but you also knew or you met Prince's dad. He was around at times too. Is that right?
Oh, John L. Nelson, Mr. Nelson. Oh, we were real close. It's in the book too.
Got it.
Yeah, Mr. Nelson was one cool cat. And, you know, me being a big jazz lover, jazz lover, so we had a lot in common. Me, him, and Miles Davis. We had a lot in common.
Were you around when Miles, I know the answer to this question, but were you around when Miles Davis sort of came in the picture for a little bit?
Was I around? Is water wet? Can fat people swim? Yes, Mike. I was there. I played with Miles New Year's Eve, '87.
Right.
At Paisley Park.
Yeah, man. That's an iconic performance, man.
Man, I'm just saying, man, I touched some of the great ones, man. And, you know, Prince, like I say, man, modern day Mozart. Man, Prince was the pimp. I was the pimp assistant, okay? It was that simple. I'm just keeping it 100. He was the pimp. I was the pimp assistant.
I love it.
The greatest romance that's ever been told, that would be him.
Wow. You should call the book that, man. That'd have been a cold title.
Well, that's the next book.
Okay.
That's coming.
Well, since you said that, so if you were the pimp's assistant, then you had to see some pimping going on. No, I'm not talking about pimping. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
Oh yeah. He had more holes than a golf course. He was that guy. You know, man, like fool, like wet clothes wasn't gonna never dry. That guy, he was something else, man. That was my brother though. Hey, you know, that was my brother and my friend, you know. So, you know, he lived a beautiful life. And, you know, I just sampled some of that with him, you know, just a little bit. I told him, I don't want none. I just want just a taste. I just want a little sample. You know, I said, yes. You know, Prince, just give me a little sample, a little taste. I don't want much.
Wow.
You know, just a little taste. Just slip me two, Cutting. Just slip me two. Just slip me two a little bit. Just a little. Just
a little taste
on the black backhand side. Just a little bit. Just a little bit taste.
All I'm gonna say is woof.
Man. Well, that's what I was. That's what I had him saying. Woo. You know, and he used to say that. Boy, he said, "You something else." I said, "Yeah, my mama used to tell me that." You know, and I used to tell him. You know, I said it was only two great ones, Prince. It was Ali, then it was Wally. And you know, he would just crack up when I tell him that. He would just bust out laughing. But you know, he had a playful, silly side to him. So y'all gonna see that in that book.
Okay.
You know, y'all gonna see that in the book. Yeah.
I have a question for you, and it may be in the book, but
you just shoot, brother, shoot.
Yeah. So for me, a lot of it was, you know, I love listening to like the rehearsals and different things that sort of leak out over time. And it sounded like there was an extensive rehearsal period for every album or tour. But I was just curious, do you touch on that in the book? And if you did or did not, what you're a member, like you guys I would imagine you guys worked a lot, like in terms of the rehearsals and things.
I touched on that in the book too.
Okay.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yep. You know, the rehearsals, everything.
Because man,
you know, he was a hard worker but fair.
Oh, okay. Did you ever get docked?
Oh, I was never late because I rode sometimes to rehearsal with him. So
okay.
If you ride with the man in charge, you ain't got to worry about being charged.
I like that. A little game right there. I like that. Okay.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, you know, Boy Scout motto, always come prepared. You know, if you with the man, you can't get docked. Well, or I would be there before he would get there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, you know, I was never late. Punctuality is everything to me.
And I always wanted to know, I don't know if I ever asked you this, but the Under the Cherry Moon movie, I know you were there during that whole phase and being around. Was there ever any conversation of having you guys in the movie, aside from just being Jerome? But I don't know, did you ever shoot anything for that movie? It was cut out or?
Oh, no, I wasn't in the movie. I did the videos, Mountains and Girls and Boys.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We did the videos. And the only part I was in was Boo.
Okay, right.
You know, nobody say nothing. Jerome kept saying Boo. What's that, the Groovy Ghoulies? You know, with nobody laughing.
Were you out there in Paris while they were filming the movie?
Yes, sir. We was there for a whole month.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Was that your first time going out there?
No. I had went to Paris with him a couple of times.
Okay, say that.
You know, let me see. I've been. That wasn't Paris. That was in the south of France. That was Nice, up near Monte Carlo. No, we had been. I think I've been to Paris like 3 or 4 times. You know, Amsterdam, Dusseldorf, Antwerp, Belgium, Stuttgart, Germany.
Wow.
You travel the world. You know, this kid from the hood traveled the world with one of the world's greatest entertainers, baby. You know, this guy, I mean, hey, what else can you ask for?
Right.
You know, shoot, like Julio Iglesias, to all the girls I love, baby. It was like on like a neck bone. We was up in there like swimwear.
Wow.
Yeah, Prince was like, man, that was my guy, man. That was my guy. That was my guy. He was a remarkable individual, a genius too. Well, y'all know that from listening to his music,
right? You
know, and like I said, his music was his life. You know, and that's who he was. You know, his music. You know, his music was his life. And like I said, he said it himself. You know, you want to know anything about me? It's in my music. Just listen.
Wanted to ask you a few more, and we'll wrap this up. But the Sign of the Times album and the tour. How did you feel when you found out that the tour wasn't going to play in America?
I didn't even care one way or the other. But I was a little disappointed because I was hearing people saying, "Oh, he's not," you know, hey, because he. See, one thing people got to understand about Prince, you just got to go with the flow. Let the baker bake the bread. You just take it out the oven and put a little butter on it, baby, and you got a whole lot of butter. Ain't nothing but a muffin. Got a whole lot of butter to go. You just put a little butter on it. Just let it melt down. Just let it simmer a little bit. let the baker bake the bread. You take it out the oven and put it on the pan. Just let it sit there. So that's how he was. He'd do something, then he's on to the next thing. Then he was on to Love Sexy. That didn't include me, but it was all good. I wasn't over there crying. Why? That wasn't me. That wasn't me, brother. I didn't do that. I told him, I thank him. It was a pleasure.
Also, were you sort of around there, like the whole Black Album thing? Was that something that played out?
Well, we did the Black Album. We did that, Crystal Ball, all of that. Now, what was crazy, Mike? We did all of that. The Parade, Crystal Ball, Dream Factory, all of that. We did all of that. The Black Album, all of that. Then it leaked out, and over in Europe, and he was, just scrapped and candid. Then the family, all of that. I was part of the family too. You knew that though, right?
Not necessarily. No, I mean, when you say part of it, like you was gonna be performing with them and stuff. Or?
Well, we was rehearsing for a tour.
Oh, okay.
It was gonna be us and Sheila E. It was, the original five: St. Paul, Susanna, Jelly Bean, Eric Lee, and who am I missing? Jerome. So the band consists of Miko, Alan Flowers, Billy Carruthers, Jonathan Melvoin, and me and Greg Brooks.
Wow. Did not know that.
Yeah. So we did one show at First Avenue, one show and one show only. One show only.
And so is this like when St. Paul decides to leave? Is this basically Prince taking the remnants of those other people and putting them in the parade thing? Is that what that is?
Well, that's how that happened. When St. Paul went solo, Jelly Bean came and told me and Greg that, Prince is over. I'm like, what? He said, well, Prince is taking you, Greg, and Jerome and Miko with him. Y'all going to Europe. I said, really, for the parade, for the Under the Cherry Moon parade? I'm like, man. I said, oh wow. I said, well, hey, another day in the life of Prince.
Interesting. Were you living out there in Minneapolis at this time?
Yes, sir. I was living out there. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes, I was.
What was that like coming from Detroit?
Well, it was like leaving New York and going to live on Green Acres. So, out there in the Eden Prairie, wasn't nothing out there. Wasn't nothing but farmland. Goodbye, city life. Green Acres, we are here. Because it wasn't nothing but farmland. When he built Paisley Park, I had no idea. He built Paisley Park. We was there when he broke the ground for that.
You was there when it first opened.
Yes, sir.
I would imagine it's in the book, but then you also filmed like that mini movie there at Paisley, or some of it was filmed there, right?
Oh, you talking about
Hard Life?
Oh no, that wasn't shot there. No.
Oh, okay. Where was that shot at?
That was at the warehouse, the other warehouse.
Oh, okay.
In Eden Prairie.
Okay.
No, that was in Eden Prairie.
Yeah. Damn, man, you don't. So you've been around the world. You done shot underground movies, all kinds.
Yeah, like I said, I'm telling you, I did everything but sold popcorn. And now I'm an author. So I'm just collecting accolades and trying to drive an Escalade.
And you
and trying to get paid.
You might want to start dropping some bars or something. You've been dropping a lot of
punchlines. I'm the originator, the emancipator, the architect of all of that.
See, there you go.
That would be me for real. I was like, to be honest, I was to Prince. I was like Drew Bodini Brown to Muhammad Ali. That's how it was to Prince.
I can definitely see that.
Yes. And everybody, once I talked to them, they was like, we can see why Prince liked it, Like I said, that was you know, you could see why we was cool. Because, you know, that was my man, like $100,000. You know, like I said, you know, that's, you talking about a genius. So all you can do is let them do what they do. You compliment and enhance it. You feel me, brother? You compliment it and enhance it. You know, like I said, let the baker bake the bread. You just take it out the oven and put some butter on it. You know, just let the baker bake the bread. You know, just silence. You know, just sit back, brother, and go for it.
Right, and also, I mean, you've had you know, I was very happy that you had the opportunity to host the celebration at Paisley Park.
Oh yeah, that's when we first hung out, wasn't it, Mike?
Yeah,
Me, you, and Rodney.
Yeah, shout out to Rodney.
Yeah. That's when we first hung out. Yep. I was like, man, you know, it was just a pleasure, man, just to meet people I talked to on Facebook, on social media, to see them actually in person.
So I wanted to also, this is from my creative people out there, because I would imagine, I don't know, did you ever see yourself as an author, right? Like, did you ever think you would be writing a book?
No, sir. Not in a million years.
Yeah. So with that said, and I remember when we first talked, you had mentioned it, the idea of that back then. But can you tell the people a little bit, like, how was the process for you, to get this whole thing, this project together, man?
Well, man, you know how people have visions, and me and you talked about it 2 or 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about doing a book, and sometimes, with some things, and for some people, things get in their way, and it's kind of prolonged and delayed. But if you have the vision for it, and then I just spoke it into existence, into the universe. And, I went to like 3 or 4 people trying to get the book, but it wasn't the right fit. Then I met that sister, Dr. Margina Christian in Chicago. And that it was a perfect fit.
Okay. And shout out to her. Yeah.
Yeah. She did her thing. She, like I said, she did that piece with the Ebony and Jet, and shout out to my man, Raymond, I think Raymond Thomas. Yeah. He's the guy that did the cover for the book.
And so the book is out currently right now as we are talking. I know the hardcover version is out, and then you're also coming out on the ebook as well.
But the ebook and paperback will be out later this week.
Okay.
Yeah. And
you can get this on pretty much all of the different Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and all that good stuff.
It's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, IndieBound, Books A Million, Better World Books, and Abbey Books. And also, it's going to be in Target and Walmart as well.
Man, you're doing it, man. So salute to you, man. Congratulations.
Well, no, I gotta give that credit to my sister, Margina. Hey, Chris, that's Margina Christian, Dr. Margina Christian. That wasn't me. That was her. She did all of that.
Well, salute to both of y'all. Y'all out there doing your thing.
Well, like I said, if she made it happen, Captain, hey, I'm just, like I said, I let her bake the bread. I just took it out the oven.
Well, I think your story, I want to read it. I think it'd be very interesting. You were around Prince. You was around from 79 to 88. And then you with the icons, Teddy Pendergrass, Commodores, Earth, Wind and Fire, Parliament. I mean, man, that's anybody who just like music, particularly even black music, sound like this is something we want to read. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, Luther Vandross. I was with the heavy hitters.
Yeah, man. And the thing about it is, the cool part about it to me is like, started out doing the security and then you on the stage, you know what I'm saying? Like a part of iconic shit, you know what I'm saying? Like the parade tour, Signing Times.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like they labeled us as the dancing security.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's
like
shit.
I said, champagne wishes and caviar dreams, baby. That's what it is. Lifestyle of rich and famous.
Man. And through all of that, because I watch your Facebook page. I mean, you have kids and stuff. You got grown kids, whatnot. Like how you had time to do all these things, but salute to you. You know what I'm saying? Like you still living your life. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. When I left Prince in '88, my daughter was born. Ashley, and then the other ones, Terrence and Brandon, or Brandon and Terrence, in that order, Andrew, Stacia, Ashley, Brandon, and Terrence, so got them, and I got 5 grandsons.
Wow. Okay. Granddaddy.
Yeah. Yeah, they just call me Pops.
Pops. I like that.
Rickety.
So that's got to feel good, man. You have grandkids saying, Pops, y'all come on over.
That's what they call me, Pops.
Have they seen, or do you tell them about, sharing the stuff you've done with Prince and the other great ones you've worked with? Do they understand that?
No, I don't. They the older ones know.
Okay.
But then they still hearing stories themselves.
Got it.
I just kind of shied away from it, I just kind of shied away from it because, I was raising my children.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, man, I'll tell you this is a great thing. Your family will have this book forever. You know what I'm saying? And like your grandkids and them are going to be able to say, yo, this was Pops. Check out what Pops was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there'll be ebbs and flows.
That's part of my legacy.
Yeah, exactly. And as things like Prince, we probably blow up another 5 years from now over something that happens. They'll be able to tell they friends, yo, my Pops was dead. They can be, huh? You lying? Why are you lying? They gonna pull up. Wow.
Well, they got the book.
Pull the book. And say, yeah. Say, holla at me.
That's right. That's right, Mike.
So that's dope.
That's right, Mike. That's right.
Well, listen, Wally, man, so much appreciate you for coming on the show and sharing
with us.
Anytime,
Michael. Then I'm coming on your show first. Because you often imitated, never duplicated, Michael Dean.
I appreciate that.
Most talked about, most thought about.
I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate it. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, we got to go out here and get this book. Wally, where'd you get those glasses? My Life Through the Lens from Parliament, Pendergrass, and Prince. It's better to be read than said. So get the book so y'all can get hooked. Okay. Listen, we're going to get up out of here. Big Sexy holding it down as usual, sir.
I know that's right. All right, Big Money. That's Big Money. That ain't Big Sexy. That's Big Money. He just changed his title from Big Sexy to Big Money.
Big Money. All right. I like that.
That's right. Cash is king, credit card check is queen. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get up out of here. But as I always say, work it like a job. We'll see you next time.
Work it like a job. That's right. Work it like a job. That's right, Michael Dean. All right, brother. It's a pleasure.